What's up, YouTube? It's time for me to make my Week 1 NFL picks. Let's dive into it. So, in our first matchup, we got the Jags taking on the Texans. I really like what the Jaguars are doing. Trevor Lawrence is expected to be a generational talent. They added some receivers in free agency. This team offensively will show signs. They will have flashes. The offensive line is still a question mark. Urban Meyer is a first-year head coach, but I expect them to beat the Texans. The Texans are a mess right now. Deshaun Watson wants out. He's not going to play. David Culley is a first-year head coach that probably will get fired sometime within the next 2 years. I like the Jags 26-16. In my next matchup, I got the LA Chargers taking on the Washington football team. I'm going to go with the Chargers in this matchup. I like what Justin Herbert did his first year as a starter. He won the Rookie of the Year. On the other side, Washington has a phenomenal defense. They can run the football with Antonio Gibson. They added some receivers, De'Ami Brown in the third round, Curtis Samuel, who will be out. Washington has a good roster, but I don't trust Ryan Fitzpatrick. I like what the Chargers did building that offensive line, hiring Brandon Staley. I'm going to say the Chargers win 27-26. In my next matchup, we have the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to go with Seattle. I don't trust Carson Wentz. He's coming off an injury he dealt with in the preseason. This is a guy that's fragile, not only physically, but emotionally as well. I'm not betting against Russell Wilson in Week 1. I think Seattle pulls through in a very close ball game. I'm going to say they win 30-23. In my next matchup, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Buffalo Bills. TJ Watt just got paid. He broke the bank. The Pittsburgh Steelers look like they have a shot to go to the playoffs. Baltimore is currently dealing with injuries. That 7th seed in the AFC could be wide open. But I think the Buffalo Bills are one of the best teams in the AFC. They're at home. They've beaten Pittsburgh over the last 2 years. Give me the Bills winning 27-23 in Buffalo. In my next game, we have the New York Jets taking on the Carolina Panthers. This may come as a shock to some, but I actually like the Jets in this matchup. I think they signed Corey Davis this offseason. They drafted Elijah Moore. Zach Wilson was the most impressive rookie QB in the preseason. On the other side, Sam Darnold is playing against his former team. I'm excited to see how he plays in his first game without Adam Gase as his head coach. He has some weapons. Christian McCaffrey is one of the best running backs in the NFL. Has 2 1,000-yard receivers in DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. But I think the Jets win on a last-second field goal, 26-24. In my next matchup, we have the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Detroit Lions. I know Dan Campbell wants to bite the kneecaps off. The Lions are in rebuild mode. They don't have a very good roster. On the other side, I think Kyle Shanahan could potentially break the league with Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance. Trey Lance is out of all the first-round QBs picked in round 1. Trey Lance was probably the least ready to play at the start of the season. However, Trey Lance is an extremely flashy and dynamic playmaker. I think in his first year in this system, he'll come in every once in a while and fill a Taysom Hill 2.0 type of role. As long as Jimmy G doesn't turn the football over, this team has an excellent shot to win each and every single week. So I'm going to go with the 49ers 22-10. In my next matchup, we have the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Guys, I'm high on Joe Burrow. However, I think he's going to pull back this season. He's dealing with an injury he suffered last year. He isn't 100%. Zach Taylor is still his head coach. I expect him to be gone after this season. Last year, Cincinnati was extremely competitive. They didn't win, but they played well against some of the best teams in the league. On the other side, Minnesota has some nice playmakers: Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. This game will be played in Cincinnati. I think the Vikings get a win on the road, 22-9. Let's shift our attention over to the 425 games. So in our first matchup, we got the Miami Dolphins taking on the New England Patriots. The Mac Jones era begins. I think the Patriots win at home. Bill Belichick upgraded this roster in free agency. He finally drafted a QB in the first round. Mac Jones was excellent during the preseason. That's why he won the Patriots starting QB job. I expect Mac to throw for 224 yards and 2 TDs. On the other side, I think Tua's going to struggle against this Patriots defense. Right now, Tua's confidence is damaged. He wasn't named a captain. The Dolphins reportedly were interested in Deshaun Watson before the season started. Last year, he was benched twice in favor for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Does this team have talent to compete for a playoff spot in the AFC? Absolutely. Can Tua play in this league? I think he can. But when you take a quarterback with the 5th overall pick, you have to hold him to that standard. And right now, it's safe to say that Tua Tagovailoa has underachieved. He has to show up this season. I don't think he will, but we'll see how it plays out. Give me the Patriots 24-20. In my next matchup, this is a preview of the AFC Championship game, folks. We have Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns coming into Kansas City to take on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Pat Mahomes has not lost a game in September. I expect that streak to continue. Andy Reid is one of the best coaches in the NFL, especially when you give him time to prepare. I think this is a really good measuring test for Cleveland. Right now, Kansas City is the best team in the AFC. I believe when everything is all said and done, both of these teams will be in the AFC title game, and Cleveland will get an opportunity to avenge their Week 1 loss, and they will ultimately beat Kansas City in Arrowhead Stadium. But as of right now, I like the Chiefs. I'm going with Kansas City 37-30. Let's shift our attention to some of the other 425 games. So we got the Packers taking on the Saints. This will be Jameis Winston's first start as a member of the Saints. Drew Brees is no longer there. Michael Thomas is out due to Hurricane Ida. This game had to be moved to Jacksonville. I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. The bad man is back after a long-awaited decision. What's he going to do? Is he going to play? Is he going to hold out? He finally decided to come back to this team. I believe he made the right choice. I like the Packers a lot this season. I have them getting to the NFC Championship game. Give me Green Bay. In my final 425 matchup, we have the Denver Broncos taking on the New York Giants. The Broncos have a lot of talent on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball. However, their QB situation is suspect. Teddy Bridgewater is an upgrade over Drew Lock, but he's still the fourth ranked QB in the division. Pat Mahomes is better, Justin Herbert is better, and Derek Carr is better than Teddy B. So I don't think this team can make the playoffs. However, I believe they can give Daniel Jones some fits. Danny Dimes, as I like to call him, Danny Pennies, has led the league in turnovers since he became a starter in the National Football League. Denver has a really good defense. They have a head coach who was one of the best defensive coordinators in Chicago, Vic Fangio. I expect him to dial it up. Daniel Jones will make his mistakes. Give me the Denver Broncos. Sunday Night Football, we got the LA Rams taking on the Chicago Bears. Matt Stafford's first game as the starter. I expect him to light it up. He's going to have a great game. The Rams have a ton of talent. Raheem Morris comes in as the new defensive coordinator. Les Snead and Sean McVay made this move because they believe that Matt Stafford can take them to a Super Bowl and they can win a Super Bowl with Matt Stafford. This team has the potential to do it. Let's see what happens. On the other side, Chicago is extremely interesting. I don't understand why Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace are starting Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton isn't the answer to their long-term solution. I believe in Justin Fields. I wanted the Patriots to trade up to 11 and get Justin Fields. I thought he was going to be the steal of the draft. I'm happy with Mac Jones, but I'm here to tell you guys, I think Chicago is making a massive mistake not starting Fields week 1. I think this kid has the potential to be one of the best QBs in the NFL. Once Aaron Rodgers departs from Green Bay, I think Chicago could be the team to dominate the NFC North for multiple years to come. That being said, he isn't starting week 1. Andy Dalton has to go up against the best defense in the NFL last year, and I expect him to struggle. Give me the Rams. Finally, Monday Night Football, we have the Las Vegas Raiders opening up Allegiant Stadium, taking on the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to go with the Raiders here. First off, Baltimore is dealing with a ton of injuries. J.K. Dobbins went down. Justice Hill went down. Yesterday, we found out the shocking news that Gus the Bus Edwards and Marcus Peters both tore their ACLs. I think this team has a lot to work on. I like the Latavius Murray signing, but he probably won't play on Monday Night Football. Rashad Bateman is out. Sammy Watkins has dealt with some injuries. Marquise Hollywood Brown is going to be banged up. Other than Mark Andrews, I don't know what Baltimore will do on the offensive side of the ball. On the flip side, this is the first game played in Las Vegas with fans in the stadium. I expect Allegiant to be crazy. I think Derek Carr will play well. The Raiders have some nice pieces on the offensive side of the ball. I don't trust their defense, but their defense doesn't need to do much because Baltimore is dealing with a ton of injuries on the offensive side of the ball. Thank you guys for watching. I'm excited to see how these week 1 matchups play out. And I think we're in for a really good NFL season. Peace.